Welcome everyone, Marcelo is my name. I'm the niche fragrance collector, and this is something I've been wanting to do for some time now. I find that perfume is such a alluring, such a mystery to us as an individual that to have it on a special date, a first date, or even if you are in a relationship with someone, to wear a beautiful perfume. I know that when my wife, we're going out on a date and she comes out and she gives me that cheeky smile and all of a sudden I'm picking up her fragrance, I just know what the night's gonna be like. So my wife and I, we've come up with 6 fragrances, 3 for men, 3 for women, that would be just amazing as a date night or for Valentine's Day, or you know what, just hanging out with that special person that you love. In preparing for today, I've got a fairly extensive library of perfumes, and so to break it down to just 3 was a challenge, was a task in itself. My wife, she's not a collector. For her, it was a little bit easier, whereas for me, I really had to sort of like, you know, I had to bring together some kind of equation. And for me, it's either reach, which is that spontaneity, I'm just gonna grab this now and wear it, and use, and that is something that is designed. I know that we're going out on a date, and so I'm gonna say, you know what, this particular occasion calls for this particular perfume. So based on that equation, that's how I chose my 3. Whereas my wife, as I said, she's got a modest collection, and these 3 fragrances I absolutely love when she wears them. I'm gonna go by occasion. So the first occasion is that first date, that first impression. You want to make sure that you're not loud, you're not intense. You want to be subdued, but also mysterious. You also want to be a little bit sexy. I'm gonna start with the girls, and if you are not familiar, BDK, awesome perfume house, amazing collection. Their star player is Ce Soir. The title is ironic, because Ce Soir is not tonight. And so you'd think that this would be like, you know, a bad omen if you were to wear this, but in actual fact, I think this fragrance here creates such a sense of desire. It creates a sense of wanting to get to know you better, that this would be just phenomenal as a first date. I know that when I first got this fragrance for my wife, it's just pure magic. It is one just gloriously sexy, very feminine. So in my opinion, this is a very feminine fragrance. I know that we talk about how fragrances are unisex, but in my opinion, this works wonderfully on a woman. This is just glorious on a female. The one thing, you know what's interesting about this? It's such a floral, such a sweet fragrance. I was convinced there was vanilla in this. When I first smelled it, it has some kind of gourmand element to it. So it's a very sort of sweet, Moorish, but there's no vanilla. There's the gourmand elements are purely the fruits that are in there. In particular, there's quince in here, and I am a big fan of quince in fragrances. There's an orange blossom element to it too, that sweetness from the orange blossom, that familiarity of that scent. But with the quince is creating such a wonderful, unique twist. As a first date fragrance, it's sensual, it's alluring. It's one of those fragrances that will get instant attention. On the boy side of things, I'm going for something a little bit different. I'm gonna go with Maison Kurkdjian's Gentle Fluidity Silver Edition. It's very aromatic. The thing that I love about this fragrance is that it is instantly appealing. It has a masculine component to it. And I guess if you're a man dating a young lady or a woman, you wanna have an element of masculinity. You wanna come across, and I think this is the thing, that sometimes I find that some designer fragrances can be a little bit on the boy side, you know, they give you that sort of boy feel, whereas as a man, you wanna be a man, you know, and so yeah, you want the aromatic component, that sort of lightness that designer fragrance or some designer fragrances have, but you also want to create that depth of masculinity, you know, I'm not a boy, I'm a man, basically, is what you're trying to say. Or well, at least, yeah, that's what I would want to say. Now here it starts off very aromatic. It has a wonderful coriander, has a wonderful nutmeg sort of note in the opening. It creates a freshness, but it's in the dry down. It goes ambery, vanilla, and also woody. So it has this wonderful base that it comes down to. So as they meet you, so your first date, they're drawn by this, I guess, familiar, bright, happy, aromatic opening. But as the date extends, all of a sudden you're getting these more deeper tones. It still remains as a fresh fragrance, so it doesn't go into any heavy woods or anything of that nature. So those early aromatic notes are still playing in the fragrance throughout, but it does become a wonderful masculine fragrance, you know. But it's still it's light enough that it's not going to be too intense to intimidate your first date. I know that when I'm wearing this, my wife, she loves it. She can smell this. She has a radar for gentle fluidity, and she is instantly commenting on this particular fragrance. So for me, gentle fluidity, absolute winner. These two are awesome. First date, getting to know somebody. The second two that I'd like to put forward is more now, you want to make a statement to your partner. So could be you have been with this individual for years, you're married, whatever it may be. You still want to create, I guess, a little bit of, you know, sexiness, a little bit of sensuality in that fragrance. For me, on my side, we're going to start with the boys, is Xerjoff's Naxos. I did a review on this a little while back, and I put it out there. You know, I asked anyone who does not like this fragrance, and so far to date, I have not had anyone say that this is not a fragrance that they think is a winner. As a date night fragrance, as a going out, as a chilling with your partner on the couch fragrance, I mean, this one here is spectacular. The honey notes in there, the tobacco notes that are in there, the spice from the cinnamon, the tonka bean, the vanilla, just everything about this fragrance is warmth, it's seductive. Actually, it wears like a skin, you know, it blends in with you, or it blends in when I'm wearing it, blends in with me. And it just becomes, I don't know, it heightens me and my scent. Naxos. Winner for a woman. Now, firstly, my wife loves wearing this, so she enjoys this as her day fragrance. But I love smelling this on my wife. And look, I'm going to say literally one of those classics. 300 years from now, you know, if we're all on now on flying cars and all that sort of stuff, you know, we would still be smelling on a woman and going, timeless, classic. It is one beautiful, sophisticated woman style fragrance. What I love about On a Woman is that this is not just designated to an older woman. Women in my family, so they range between the ages of like 20 or 21 all the way to my wife. They all, when they come to my house, they wear or they spray on a Woman. And it works perfectly. So on a young woman to a more mature woman, this fragrance is a pure winner. Now, what I love, and as I mentioned before, so this is something, you could wear it as a second date if you want, but this is definitely something, you know, this is a special occasion fragrance. So if you're going out for Valentine's Day with your partner that you've been with for many years, this would be an awesome fragrance for the woman. I don't know, it's a beautiful feminine fragrance. The thing that's interesting about On a Woman is that it has some really heavy notes in the base. Things like opoponax, incense, vetiver. I mean, these can be heavier notes that can bring down that fragrance. However, it's that floral heart that this is just beautifully crafted, all right? End of story. This is one very divine, beautiful, sophisticated female fragrance. Again, love it. This is one of my favorites. I love it when Sandra, my wife, is wearing this. For the last one, there are some dates that you go out and you're like, you know what, at the end of this, I just want to be with my partner. I just want to be with you. I just want to, I don't know how to say that without being crass, but you know what I mean. You know, this is a fragrance that just screams out trouble. And it's interesting, as my wife and I were sort of bringing this collection together and going, what are the fragrances that would represent these different categories? It's interesting that the two that represent trouble is Nasomatto. I mean, we both, as we were sort of compiling this list, we both agreed that from a man's point of view, that the seduction fragrance that she loves when I wear it is Pardon. I have to say that when my wife is wearing Narcotic Venus, I have impure thoughts. So firstly, Pardon. Now this, man, I love myself, which sounds weird, but when I smell, I've smelled this on me, and I'm like, man, I am sexy. I feel masculine, but I also feel, I feel like Daniel Craig. I know it's, you know, what I think I look like and what I look like, but it's one of those fragrances that just, well, it embodies me with just like superhuman confidence, you know, and I just feel like I can seduce a room, you know, just put this on and look out. I mean, I'm getting a chocolate vibe, so there is some kind of chocolatey something going on. There are some spices in there, and I have read that there's potentially cinnamon in here. What I do know is that this is one super sexy, very sensual fragrance. My wife loves it when I'm wearing Pardon. The last one, women. For the women, I am huge fan of Narcotic Venus. I think Narcotic Venus is probably the greatest female fragrance ever created for a woman. I know that I did a review on this, and some men were writing saying that they love wearing this. I think that's awesome. I still see it as a very, in my opinion, a very female-leaning fragrance. I mean, tuberose is the hero in this particular scent, but it's a tuberose like I've never smelled before. My wife is a tuberose lover. She has a number of really beautiful tuberose fragrances, but nothing compares to the scent of this. There is an animalic component to it. There's something in here that gives it another edge. And it's not just, you know, just tuberose. Sandra, my wife, has a tuberose by Nishane tuberosa, and that is tuberose. You know, it's really just, it's a pronounced tuberose. Whereas this one here, there's something else going on. For me, it's feminine, it is sensual, it is, when my wife wears this, it means trouble in an awesome way. So there you have it. These are 6 fragrances that I would recommend as awesome date night, first dates, Valentine's Day fragrances that you can enjoy. I would love to know what your thoughts are. What are some of your secret weapons that you use on first dates or going out? Thanks everyone. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you all in the next video.